there's the stream. And I don't know. Can you check it on your phone or something? See what
I'm gonna try to.
Check.
You going from drinking Caveman?
No, I'm doing it on our Whiskey Untitled. So, hi guys, if you're watching this, we're checking right now to see if it's live on YouTube. We're not just on our phones, and this is just the show all day, every day.
It's the show. It's like most people's lives. They're just gonna say it's somebody else on their phone anyways.
It's like, what are you watching? I'm watching someone else on the phone.
I'm watching other whiskey videos.
Yeah, watching whiskey video.
Why can't I find it? I know I've subscribed to it. This is awkward.
It could be not streamed, so I can probably take a look. No, it's live. It's not under gaming. I know that one for sure.
Send me.
Style, I guess. It is public.
No, because the link's gonna be horrible until 100 followers. So what's the actual link for that?
Server URL link right here. How do I send it to you? I'll send it to you in the show notes.
Or just text it to me. Or show notes.
Alrighty. And it looks like it's good.
That's not gonna be it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's
that's the lot. That's their server.
What the hell then? It doesn't tell me. It really doesn't show me, but it tells me it's live.
You can do it by going to the video manager.
Yeah, I'm in video manager.
And if you go to, dashboard. And somewhere in here is the, go to like playlist or all the videos, one of those, and it'll tell you like.
Should be in your channel, right?
Yeah. I really did need to make this picture bigger, but I can't.
Not even tell me there. So this is what the show's about. It's just basically us trying to figure out how to watch ourselves.
If you go to your channel, you can see like.
That's what I thought it would, but it won't. It won't let me do that.
It'll be /C/ a bunch of crazy things.
There you go, view channel. All right, here it goes. Yeah, it's right here. Whiskey Untitled live stream, public stream. Touch it.
Yes, so D/ that link. Now that we're gonna go in a giant.
Yeah, so I muted it before that happened. Okay.
It's more fun to loop.
Why not?
Oh, that's something to type in.
That's why I just said click it. Oh, you're doing it on your phone?
Yeah.
Well, at least we know it's streaming live, so. And then pop out chat.
Let's see.
Ready.
All right.
Ready to go?
No. Still typing.
Fair enough. That's fine, man. That's fine.
Capital Q.
So this is the reason why people tune in. They want to see what's happening.
XSJ. Q. That's what I was saying. Like until that we have 100 followers, we can't just do what we need to do.
That's fine. 100 followers in no time, man.
I'm gonna send this to Shimon because I know
he wants to know what's happening.
He's like, I'm gonna watch it.
Good for him.
I'm gonna send it to you so you can copy and paste it if you need to.
Are you gonna put it on your thing right now? What are you gonna do?
I send it to you on Instagram. Done and done. Makes life easier. That way you can just copy, paste, send it to whoever you want. Et voila.
I don't have friends on Instagram.
What?
Who to send it to? Yeah, I don't know. The problem is like a lot of people on my list are East Coasts or they're in Australia.
Yeah, but I mean, you can still send them the magic.
I can always send them the magic. Are you sending it to people?
Is that feedback?
What's feedback?
I send it to the same 2 people I send it to for everything. I send everything to 2 people.
Really?
Because I'm an introvert, so I have 2 friends who won't lie to me, and I appreciate it.
I have many people that lie to me. It just depends how much they lie to me.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Most people lie. Like, I think that was my favorite thing about the show House, is he called everybody out on it. which I have no problem with. But
So here's going to be a real interesting thing for everybody. I have a tattoo that says we do what we do because of who we are. If we did otherwise, we would not be ourselves. So
it's true.
People do shit because that's how they are. Sadly, that's just how shit is.
But you have to believe that people can always change too,
though,
because
that's funny.
we're humans, which means we're generally predictable, but totally able to be completely unpredictable.
This topic just got really deep, just FYI. Yeah.
Did it? Are we doing a philosophy channel?
Boom.
Whiskey philosophy.
What happens when you drink too much whiskey? We talk like we know.
No, I don't know. What? Is that how it works?
Alrighty.
I don't know. Haven't been. Oh, McAfee. Excellent. Cheers.
All right. Alrighty. So let's start the show.
Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Untitled. That guy is... You got to introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Drinking Caveman.
I got you. Hold on. I got it. This is Drinking Caveman right over here.
And that is... I got it right too. And that's Sniff from Scotch and Sniff. And this is the Whiskey Untitled. Alrighty.
Indeed.
So, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about best whiskeys for mixing. So, mostly cocktail related, but, as people are getting to that, we thought it's best to kind of give you guys a bit of a guide on what we use personally to mix some of our cocktails or whiskey cocktails.
And you might not like the answers.
Yep, that's interesting. All right, so first of all, we'd like to say, what's in your glass? So, Sniff, what's in your glass today?
This is Caveman Solist Vino Barrique. So, if you've been looking for probably the most complex whiskey ever, it's right here.
So, what's the price tag on one of those right now?
I think MSRP is like $265.
Okay, so it's definitely a higher end bottle, kind of, one of those bottles where you're just like, hey, crack it down once in a day, or
for a 4-year-old.
Ooh, pricey. Personally, I think it's a bit pricey, but then again, if you're in Asia.
But if you look at the color of this 4-year-old, it is the darkest 4-year-old you'll ever see in your life. And the trick is the same trick that they do with the what is it? The Frank Sinatra,
mm-hmm.
Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra, where they cut grooves into the wood to help it age faster. Yeah, with American oak, it's not as impressive, but with European oak, obviously, what the Taiwanese have done is made a super dark dram.
Interesting. No,
and it's crazy complex.
That's fun. And then for me, what I'm drinking right now is I'm actually drinking a whiskey cocktail. So today I have the Godfather in this glass. So that's 2 parts whiskey, 1 part amaretto. I know. People are like, it's too sweet.
That sounds good.
But for me personally,
that sounds really.
Yeah, that's so you might see that on my Instagram on Friday. I know Scotch Sniff challenged me to a whiskey cocktail, so that might be my choice.
Just don't forget the hashtag.
And I haven't. I've just been testing things out to see what's great. I did another whiskey cocktail yesterday called an Infinity, with dry and sweet vermouth, and then of course whiskey. So I'm trying things out. I actually got a bar book a couple of days ago, so I'm just kind of going through the book right now to see what kind of hits my taste buds. So that's what I'm drinking.
Nice.
And then before we get into the topic, we like to say what's our buys or what we've gotten over the last week. So Sniff, why don't you start?
So in the mail from Shimon, I totally got a care package. It's a little ridiculous.
That's fun. Great
so guy. It started with he had these Caveman minis, and I was like, oh man, it'd be awesome to have one of those. So he sent it to me along with a Knob Creek tumbler, nice. Which I was like, all right. And then another mini, 27-year tumbling tool, which I haven't cracked open yet. That'll be good. And another glass.
More? Whoa.
A Drambuie glass.
That's fun.
We just didn't expect any of this, but I'm sure to make good drinks.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks Shimon for that package, dude. Good job.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. It's crazy.
So, sadly for me,
you
got more?
That wasn't even it.
What else?
Sorry. I also drove to the northern part of Maryland to meet somebody from Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, to pick up something I've been looking for a few years.
Is that the Snow Phoenix?
Yes, it is. Not available since 2010.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think in 2011 or so. I saw that around at my old store over in California. Never got it.
Oh man,
It's weird. It's Glenfiddich for me is like the ones where I'm like I got away, like the Traveler series, or Explorer series. Snow Phoenix is the other one, and I'm just like, man, it was just sitting right there in front of me, and just never picked up. So, no, have you had it before?
no, actually, no. I've never even had anything like it. It's kind of exciting.
There you go.
47.6% alcohol, so we'll see how it goes.
That looks like fun. Man, lucky you.
It's gonna be good.
It's been a good week for you.
It's a birthday bottle.
There you go. So for me, got a couple of pickups. So I've been looking online right now, and I found a company called the Boutique Whiskey Company. So they do small runs.
Yeah, that's
you know,
it's master of malt.
yeah, basically that's what I've heard. That's kind of why they.
Yeah, it's owned by them.
So I don't see these around in my stores, so I was like, hey, why not give it a try? So I have their blended batch number 3. Now their batch number 1 actually won awards, and I was a 50-year-old. And then every year since I've been going down. But whiskey blend number 2 won a silver award, so I'm hoping this is not a bronze, but this is a silver. So here's the hoping.
Number 2 was from Glenfiddich.
I think so. Is it? Was it?
Yeah, they disclose quite a bit of information on the Master Malt website if you look for it. You just got to look hard.
Yeah, and then I got that bottle, and then I got their what's it called here? It's like their secret distillery 9-year-old, which is Glenfarclas. Yep. So that's what I've been saying. So got those 2 bottles. They're a bit pricey to be honest, but then again I'm paying like import taxes and stuff, and their cask strength, so I heard that's a bit more expensive.
Yeah, but they're only like 50 CL bottles.
50 CL bottles, which I didn't define print.
So a third less.
So it's even less, but I want to try it out. I love their comic book design for their labels. I think that's ingenious for marketing.
Oh, for mixed drinks. Entertain everyone for like 2 minutes.
So since he's gone fixing something, basically these 2 bottles here, Masters of Malt, this is where I got them. That's where I got them from. They're around about $70 to $100 and so dollars. I just love the comic book feel. So if I can put this down over here, I can show you guys. Like this just reminisces of old comic books, King of the Hill kind of style. So I thought it was great. And then I love sherry whiskeys, and people say this is like almost a sherry bomb. So I'm very excited about that.
Excellent.
And then the last one I have before Sniff kind of surprises us with something that I didn't even know about. A buddy of mine went up to Westland. He picked up their hand-filled bottle. This is their new cask, cask number 448, which is a peated whiskey. So I know Sniff doesn't like this, but this is one of my first hand-filled peated style. So
sorry for your loss.
My buddy said this is actually really good. The peat doesn't overpower it, which is great. I have their peated right back there. I have their peat week, their winter, which is a bit peated, and then their peated one. So I'm interested about it. They don't do a crazy peat like a Lafroig or Ardbeg and that kind of stuff. It's very light, mellow. So I'm very excited about that. So, and then sadly, this is about $40 for this tiny bottle. So it's a bit pricey, but you get the whole experience hand filling it, and then it is only I think you only get a couple of hundred out of this. I think it's like 200 to 300 bottles of these small bottles, depending on the cast.
Yeah, depending on the
so
cast.
I think I'm going to start, since they're just down the road, a couple of hours away, I think every cast release, I'm probably going to go and grab at least one just to try them out.
That's very cool.
So that's what I got. And then Sniff's...
You'll have to grab me one.
I might. I will. I'm probably going out there next
month.
So before, Sniff's getting giddy.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your secret?
So I also like the Boutique Whiskey Company.
I didn't even know
They've got good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, they've got good stuff. When I started ordering from Master Malt, they're actually a really, really, really nice company.
Okay.
Who's given us free money before to give away for contests.
That's cool.
But on their Auchentoshan, they have what is this? It doesn't say what year, but just as Auchentoshan. But they actually have a recipe for a cocktail located here. I don't know where I'm pointing. Right there.
Speech bubble?
So yeah, they have the Auch that's good. It's 40 milliliters of Auchentoshan, 10 milliliters of Amontillado sherry, and 5 milliliters of raspberry syrup. Stir over ice. Strain in absinthe rinse cupette, and a ruby grapefruit twist. It's supposed to be amazing.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, no. So, sadly, nothing in mine. It just says nothing to see here. Please move along carefully now, and then shush. That's basically what it says.
Oh, I should have grabbed the other ones while I was in there. I've got a couple
Oh,
more
and
too.
just since we're talking about bottle labels and stuff like that, if anyone hears it out in YouTube land, there's a bottle of Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, which is another independent bottler. They have a Star Wars Jar Jar Binks bottle label.
Say
So
what?
Google that. Just Google Star Wars Jar Jar Binks Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, and it is the funniest thing you've ever heard. It's like Jar Jar Binks telling you that, hey, this is all you need to drink and all that stuff. It's just hilarious. So when I saw that, I was just like, I want that bottle, even if it's empty. Just
It sounds
yeah,
ridiculous.
so I love the independent ballers when they go that kind of weird way. Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is more like, hey, they're trying to describe things in a weird manner where not weird, but like it just, hey, I'm on a beach.
Yes, it's weird.
I'm on a beach, smoking a cigar, then eating a tree or something. It's like something. It's normal then weird. Then with Boutique Whiskey Company with their comic books, which I love. I love that little thing. And I've heard you get postcards. So if you guys are listening, if you guys have any postcards, please feel free to send them. Because they look amazing. And I wish we had tastings here in the U.S. because I heard that's a lot of fun with those guys. So
You just got to make a trip to the UK.
yeah, one day. All right, so first to the topic today, best whiskeys for mixing. So Sniff, go ahead. I know you got something fancy.
Yeah, we just feel differently about this for sure. But I did make an old fashioned earlier with the Booker's Rye Limited 2016, whatever it is that people spend way too much money on.
No.
But then I poured some vermouth in it to make it a Manhattan, and it didn't taste good, so I threw it in the drain.
So how much was that bottle?
Oh, I paid $300 for it. So I bought it like at retail,
$300
but everybody wants like $700 for it. No, $300 for the bottle, not the Manhattan. Because when I made a old fashioned with reflection, and I think I calculated that to like $180, but worth it. It tastes amazing.
Oh, it better be. Shit.
Because my philosophy is like, so people always say like start with a good whiskey, and that's how you make the best cocktails. And I think I love the Macallan line to make old fashions because instead of needing regular bitters and orange bitters, you can just use Macallan, and then the orange bitters aren't needed because they have such good orange notes in pretty much all of their
Makes
whiskeys.
sense. I think that, yeah, I agree with that.
But I know you wanted to do like $50 and under for the whiskeys, so Macallan 12 sherry's right around there, maybe a little more than that. And then just any good whiskey for that price. There's so many.
Yeah, we definitely a bit different when it contrasts when it comes to like I definitely agree that with the right ingredients or the best ingredients you're gonna get the best cocktail. Sadly, with certain cocktails nowadays we have different flavor profiles, different types of bitters. We got sweeter or more herbal things mixed with gin or things mixed with like absinthe and stuff like that. Where I feel as though that if you use like that's $60 and up kind of bourbon or whatever, or sipping bourbon, for instance, or a sipping whiskey, you won't get the mass enjoyment that you get with just sipping it by itself. So, and that's just an opinion, right? So it's just like that's the way I kind of work it. So for instance, here I have the Godfather, which is 2 parts bourbon, 1 part amaretto. The amaretto hits it there where I barely taste the bourbon. So if I had a higher proof bourbon or even a more expensive bourbon with more complex flavor profiles, the amaretto is going to drown it out. And that's kind of where I'm like, if I want to taste the wood in this one, or the caramel, or the Nutella, or even like the apple flavors in Glenfiddich, or the honey notes in Balvenie, I just can't put that into a cocktail. Like I could probably do the 12-year Balvenie in a cocktail.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking for honey on that one. I'm looking for whatever pineapple juice they put in there, or whatever the other ingredients are. And usually people say I think it's 1 part sweet, 1 part sour, and then 2 parts liquor is kind of what people work with. So you're gonna hit that sweet and sour notes, but like you mentioned, I could probably do without the sweet if I put a sweeter whiskey in there, or if a sour whiskey or whatever. So it just depends. And then it doesn't work with peat. So every time I put a peat in a whiskey, you will taste the peat. So that's kind of the exception to the rule. But
because the peat is the devil. In case anybody doubted it.
It depends, right? But if you like the devil, there you go. But
no, it doesn't depend. Doesn't depend
So
ever.
for me, if we're talking about bottles, right? Maker's Mark is kind of my go-to mixing bourbon. It's a weeder, so it's a bit sweet compared to the other bourbons that you can have. You can do Bullet as well. You can do Buffalo Trace, but for me, Maker's Mark is just easy. It's easy to find in the store. It's $25 for the 750, 25 maybe $30. So it's cheap. It's not going to break the bank. Plus, when you pour it down the drain because you did a mistake, you're not going to feel bad about it.
I don't feel bad about it. But Costco has the 1.75 for like 25
bucks. Yeah, you can
bucks.
get bigger versions. Mine, sadly, stores like $40. So I kind of like, I'm just going to make some drinks for myself. I'm not going to go crazy. So, and then the next thing I have is a Scotch, and it's Monkey Shoulder. It's easy for me to find. Solid. It's it's not too sweet. It's not peated, or you don't get any peat flavors in it. So I think it's one of the easiest ones to find and to mix, and it's around $30, $35 or something too. So it's around that lower than 50 part. So yeah, those are the two whiskeys that I use in my most of my whiskey type cocktails, and I personally like a sweeter note, so I know I'm gonna drown that alcohol. So like with the amaretto or with my bitters and orange zests, with my sugar, a lot of the times I use brown sugar or I use maple syrup. So those kind of
maple syrup.
Yeah, maple syrup. If you try a rum with maple syrup, you are gonna go nuts.
They already taste like maple syrup.
Oh, dude, this depends what maple syrup you get too. I get like usually the organic stuff. Tastes real good.
Like Demer. Oh no, I don't know what the organic maple syrup.
I guess. That's a nice bottle, dude. I should bring out mine. I got a sherry cask strength somewhere here.
Do you really? Oh, the Caveman?
Yeah, it's one bottle that I haven't opened. It's more of a like I guess a birthday event bourbon bottle.
Yeah, no, I'm totally about birthday bottles. This year I went a little crazy with the birthday bottles, but I've got a couple.
Yeah, no, hold the audience for a bit and I'll get it. How about that? Maybe you can even see me pick it down at the bottom of the floor.
I mean, if you want, I can talk about the birthday bottles. We've got the Snow Phoenix, got the Glenfiddich 30, we've got the Glenfarclas 1981 autumn release, and the Babbler 1990. Those are the birthday bottles so far, pending me finding something ridiculous somewhere else. Oh, and hopefully, drive to Philadelphia and pick up the Macallan 12 Grand Reserva that somebody won for being an auction that I owe them money for.
That's fun. So this is a UK one, so I guess they got it from the UK.
70 CL.
Yeah, it is. No,
you get chipped.
I paid retail for this, so it's not like it's crazy or anything. But yeah, here it is. So this is one of my birthday-ish or event milestone.
That's the best.
So, dude, this thing is like I'm not behind it.
Yeah, no, their colors are like dark.
And this is cask strength, which
there's a lamp behind this.
Yeah, it's nuts. And
how old is that one?
Doesn't tell me.
Because this one's only 4 years old. You can tell from the cask number information.
Okay.
Like it'll have W and then two numbers.
There's no W, but it does have S100.
S100. I don't know about that one.
2010, so 2010.
Oh, it's possible. And then what's it say for bottling on the back?
Bottle number is 260 out of 517.
On the back, it'll tell you the bottling.
Or
the bottling date.
Yeah. 2016.
So it's a 6-year-old.
There you go.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's so dark.
It's nuts. And the funny thing is, a friend of mine had extras, and he was like, "Oh, I need to get rid of stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take some. No problem there, bud." But and then I have another friend that lives in Taiwan, so he tries to get some stuff. So he's got a lot of Hibiki 21s just sitting in Taiwan waiting to get brought home. So
that's a good stuff.
Oh, I'm still waiting for him to open his Mount Fuji bottle.
I usually just like if there are bottles that I have a ton of bottles that are open that I don't, you can't sell open bottles. So what I'll usually do, some people will trade open bottles, which is weird, but I'll usually just tell some friends who are looking for certain things, like, hey, if you're looking for this, I just tell them, drink it, just bring it back with this much in it so I can review in the future.
Yeah. That's usually the case. Like, was it this weekend? So Access of Whiskey, when I did my giveaway, and you as well, like, all started me samples and some goodies to give over, and Megan in New York won it. Some of the guys sent me extra samples, double samples for me to try. And Pete's the devil. I'm not a big fan of Pete, but this weekend I tried the Octomore. I think it's 6.3. So, and I was like, when you smell it, it's like iodine. It's like it's crazy smoke and stuff.
Yep.
And then when I had it, it was night and day on what it was. It was like, it was peated, yes, but the nose was like, up to 11. The taste was like 6, 7.
Dog's bark was worse than its bite.
It was weird. Because like I gave him the offer. I was like, hey, take the Ardbeg Supernova or the Octomore 6.3. And he's like, he looked at the bottle. He was like, dude, the Supernova was like $400. I'm like, it's a sample, man. Don't worry about it, right? And he loves peat whiskeys, so he was all like, oh, this is so cool. I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever you want, just try it. Leave me some so I can sample it and I can write a review on it later. And then we tried a little bit. And I was like, wow, I'm not saying I love peat, but I was very, very surprised at how light it was on the palate compared to the nose. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Bruichladdich, their Port Charlotte heavily peated is actually really enjoyable. Like, it's not
for you enjoyable, or
the thing that they make it out to be. It's for me enjoyable, which is magical.
Wow. Okay.
Because they call it heavily peated, but it's not. There's so many bottles that say they're just peated and are horrible. But no, Bruichladdich, I think they really have it wrong.
Yeah, I think maybe they put a lot more peat smoke compared to everyone, but then after the distilling process probably dies it down or something like that.
That's the thing, though, but it's the type of peat also. If it's the iodine saltiness or if it's just like smoke. Like, I mean, Oban comes to mind because they're just good at salt and smoke. They're so good at salt and smoke.
I heard Vinny uses peat too, but it's so light that you can hardly taste it.
Yeah, like I have their 17 peated, and I mean, if it's peated, it's not. Highland Park is a good example of like balanced peat. You've got 2.5 parts per million, and it comes across perfect, like balanced. It comes across perfectly balanced. Didn't you just buy some Highland Park?
No, but I did put a post on. So in my store right now, they have a 15, which I have. Already have the 12. You can see it back there. I showed the Dark Origins and the 18.
Yeah, the 15's going away, and the Dark Origin's going away.
So that's the reason why I bought the 15. A lot of people were recommending to me, hey, you should get the 15 if you like the 12. And I didn't mind the 12. The 12 was like, it's a fine whiskey. It's nothing magical or anything like that, but it was good. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll try the 15, but people say, hey, it's like 2 steps better. That's fine. I haven't.
No, the Dark Origins is where it's at. It's better than the 18.
So that's what I'm worried about. Is like, since I know the Dark Origins is going away, do I buy one now so I can try it later and kind of stuff?
Dude, they're like $70. Go grab like a million of them.
For me, I think it's cheap. It's like 60 something bucks. It's not that bad. So
that's not bad at all.
I might pick one up. I'm taking a trip to California next week, so I'm actually saving my money because I want to go to some stores over there that I know have pretty good stuff.
Aren't their taxes worse though?
It is, but then where I am, I don't get these bottles, so it's kind of like the point where, hey, if you can't buy it, I don't mind paying the tax instead of going to Masters of Malt or an online retailer to pick it up. So yeah. Alrighty, man. So
Dark Origins is like Pokemon.
Why, it's hard to catch?
No, gotta catch them all.
That's what Highland Park is for me. It looks like, or the independent ballers is where like it's like Pokemon to me. I want to collect like. There's no reason why I should have bought 2 Boutique Whiskey Company bottles, but.
Classic malts, single malts. They do a Mortlock 11 or 15. I'll have to go look at my shelf. But if you ever get a chance to grab it, it's awesome. Like,
and that's the problem I have.
There's some amazing IBs out there.
Like when I'm thinking about it right now, and this is where I look at you as my spirit guide when it comes to Scotch. It's like the independent ballers, I have no clue. Like, Tulladine or whatever I have back there from the
Philibardine.
Like I have one of their bottles. People that I don't hear about, or I just don't know about the distillery because they're in blends most likely. Like a lot of them are in Johnny Walker's. There are a lot of them in the big
Aberfeldy.
So it's like
Pardue and Johnny Walker.
So it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, like marketing gets me, I guess. But it's like I don't know these distilleries. I just know the region, so I know what it might taste like. And that's where I feel as though I need the education. Imagine our viewers as well. So hopefully maybe we do a series of independent stuff.
Literally what Scotch and Sniff is for the educational stuff.
And we can dash a little Scotch and Sniff in here too.
The G&M Mortlock is also good. They have the 15, or I don't know if Shimon's talking about the 21. Sorry, the comments down below. Yeah, no, I don't know if he's talking about the 15 or the 21, but Gordon and MacPhail, they have some great bottles.
Yeah, what's that liquor store called? There's one.
Total Wine.
I think they have the battle something.
Yeah, they
Whatever they're,
do the
yeah,
executive.
they have independent bottles, and I think,
Oh, Battle
yeah,
Hill.
and that
Battle
was
Hill.
one of their ones and stuff like that. So, and I think it's great. Independent bottles is great because you can get like a 30-year-old, 50-year-old for, I won't say half the price, but a lot less than what you did with paying the name of Macallan on it or something like that. So.
Yeah, that's why people love, what is it, Spey Malt, which is the Gordon and MacPhail Macallan that you can get like older years for cheaper, still a couple $100,
But
but
yeah, if Macallan stopped their name on it, it's in the thousands. So.
yeah, that's the problem.
But yeah.
Man, that makes me want some 25.
Dude, this cocktail, man, you should try it. So again, Godfather.
I'm gonna try it. I just need to buy some amaretto. Yeah. What amaretto should I buy? How about that? Is it the only amaretto that there is?
It, so. That's why I have it.
You have to buy it.
She's like, I love it. Like, all right, cool. I bought 2 bottles. I just killed one right now. She doesn't know. But yeah. So that's, and then like from other mixing stuff, just if you guys care about, I bought some Jamaican rum, non-generics, just generic kind of stuff, and then sweet vermouth and dry vermouth is something you should have in your bar as well. A lot of ingredients, a lot of cocktails require that. So right now I'm actually building my little cocktail bar. I got some strainers and stuff and glasses, but I'm trying to get more of the mixing drinks because, as you know, whiskey is not a problem. But once it comes to like the rums and the vodkas, tequilas, and stuff, I kind of want to get generic, medium end ones. There's a few rums that I want to get into, and I'm probably gonna wait for Sniff over there to do his rum posts to kind of figure out which rums to get because some sipping rums I would love to have. I've actually got. Not sponsored video. Arizona bitters with figgy pudding.
I saw that on your Instagram
Dude,
post.
This thing, man, it's like Christmas in a glass. It's so it has here it's cinnamon with cinnamon, clove, and cardamom. I think that's how you say it. And it just, dude, this thing it spiced up the rum to where it was just it was amazing. And thank you for Arizona Bitters for recommending that recipe because I did it with whiskey, and it was okay. It wasn't bad or anything. It had a little spice. It was great, but once they put that rum in there, changed the scene. So that's that honestly made me buy more rum. So, yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, just to recap. So we got 2 balls that you should probably buy if you want to mix stuff with whiskey. Monkey Shoulder, around $35 ish. For bourbons, you got Maker's Mark. But then you could also do Buffalo Trace or Bullet. Bullet's another one, especially their rye, is if you want to have rye in your mixers. So,
or what's the other option for whiskey you could use?
Scotch.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them for this guy with the $300 bottles and stuff. But yeah, in all honesty, you can use whatever you want. We're not here to tell you what you can and can't do, but
or how to drink your whiskey.
If you like a peated whiskey in your cocktails, by all means, go for it. It's whatever you enjoy, but just to let you know, experiment. Try everything out as much as you can. You don't have to always make an old-fashioned, Sniff. You can make different cocktails.
It's one of those things, people tell you to be good at one thing. And so for me, I wanted to just be really good at one drink. And so the old-fashioned is my jams. I've tried moving to the Manhattan by adding vermouth, but it seems like it doesn't matter what kind of vermouth I buy. I just have really bad luck with it.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on what your palate is. Order it at a bar, try it out there. I just want to mix stuff right now. Like I said, I've already done 3 recipes in the last 2 days, so I've been pretty boozy. So yeah, just try things out. I'm looking at a lot of YouTube videos right now. I've bought 2 cocktail books. I actually bought a book. I wish I could show it to you. It's all about old fashions and different types of old fashions. So different little tricks and hints and stuff like that. I've heard like you do is it paper towel or something?
I do mine with paper towel.
Yeah, I've seen people do it. Where you put the bitters on there and mash it right off the bat. Different techniques, and it does change things. Or use simple syrup.
It does change. So. Yep. So I tried the simple syrup trick. I tried doing the used bitters. Just put them on there. I've tried just a couple dashes of bitters, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dashes of bitters. You try a bunch of different stuff, and then you decide something that you like. For me, the bitter flavors is about spot on when, you use the paper towel.
No, I think, this right, whatever you want to try. And hey, let us know in the comments or let us know on Instagram. I'm drinking Caveman on Instagram. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know or else.
All right, man. I guess that's it. Let's make a wrap. Thank you guys for joining in, and like always, take care. Sniff.
Jesus.
All right.